Thank you for taking the time to watch and listen to this story of the historical journey of Grabill Missionary Church. The Lord has instilled a rich heritage in our congregation that has guided our story for over a century. This presentation will focus on pictures of the physical structures of our journey, but also on events that allowed God to guide us using His Word and the Great Commission. We understand that the word church is not confined to buildings, but is a reference to the body of believers focused on Jesus Christ. Our building has given us a place to host events and experiences, reminding us of our need for spiritual growth, for fellowship, for worship and baptism, and for our service in obedience to Jesus, thus the creation of our story. God the Father gave us sound reason to use these memorable items through our story, just as He did with His chosen people throughout Scripture. One such Scripture event, applicable even today in the story of Grabill Missionary Church, is found in Joshua chapter 4. God gave Israel a tool to remember. It came in the form of a pile of stones, each taken from a dry riverbed, and stacked by Joshua as a memorial. This pile of stones became a constant visual reminder in their story of the goodness and power of God. The reminder wasn't just for them, but for future generations, for us. What did Israel's pile of stones mean? Take time to read chapter 4 in Joshua. What can we use today as a remembrance tool of how God has guided our congregation in the story of Grabill Missionary Church for over a century? Well, perhaps the old bell out in our memorial courtyard, surrounded by our bricks, can function as our pile of stones, reminding us of the goodness and power of God throughout the generations of our story together with Him. This video of our bell with its bricks, along with our series of pictures, reminds us that we too can carry a stone, as Israel did from the riverbed, as our reminder. It will be placed in our memorial courtyard alongside our bell as a step in the creation of your story, showing what Jesus has done in your life. Perhaps someday one of your children or grandchildren will ask you about the story of the origin of that old bell. You can show them the pictures in the Heritage Hall, show them your brick beside the old bell, and then tell them your story of the love of Jesus in your life, using the stones as God's intended in Joshua's story.